Hi, welcome to the Healthcare Administration Program. My name is Chris Gibbons. I'm the director for the Healthcare Administration Program here at Mercy College. And welcome! You're obviously working through that new student checklist because this video was the very first item on the checklist. Now, what I like to do in the welcome video is address any frequently asked questions you have and also describe our onboarding process as you start the program. Now, I know when anybody starts something new, whether it's a new job or a new educational endeavor, there can be a little anxiety and apprehension. And I really want to address that anxiety and apprehension and get your questions answered, make you feel comfortable with the process as you start your new program here at Mercy College. All right, so let's go ahead and address some of the frequently asked questions that students usually have at the beginning of the program. And those usually center around technical requirements. Can I do my coursework on my iPad or my Android tablet? Can I do my coursework on my phone? Do I need to have a laptop? Well, the answer is yes. Now, with a caveat, you can do some coursework on a tablet or mobile device, but you will not be able to do all of your coursework on a tablet or mobile device. The one device you must absolutely have is a good functioning laptop. Some of the things that you'll be required to do on your digital campus simply will not work or play well with mobile devices. So do keep that in mind. Now, what kind of laptop do you need? Do you need a special laptop, cutting edge? No, you just need a nice basic laptop that is serviceable, that is working for you. Now, what I usually recommend to students is that if your laptop is more than 5 years old, you may want to look at potentially getting an upgrade. Now, the reason for that is not because of the technical requirements required for your digital campus. Those are pretty simple. It's really the potential possibility of a catastrophic failure with your laptop. If it's 5 years old and your hard drive quits working and all of your coursework is on there, that can be a pretty devastating experience for students, and it happens every semester. So, recommend that you take a look at your laptop, make sure it's working good. You know that you have a nice functional laptop. If it's getting a little bit older than 5 years, you may want to be looking at an upgrade. Again, up to you, use your own judgment. Now, you will also need a camera, a webcam, and a microphone. It can be something like this. Now, most laptops produced in the past 10 years all have cameras and microphones included. So you're probably covered there. But do make sure that you have a functioning camera and microphone because at some point in your coursework, not in every class, but in your coursework, you will need the microphone and camera to capture a presentation or some assignment that an instructor may have you do. So that pretty much covers the hardware requirements. Nice functioning laptop, and make sure you have a webcam and a microphone that works. Mobile devices, yes, can work for some things, but not all. Please do not rely on doing your coursework on your phone only. You will be set up for failure. Okay, so that covers some of the basic hardware requirements. Let's talk a little bit about software requirements. And before we kind of go into that, they're kind of the blend of both of those, and that is backup requirements. Now, one of the things I do recommend, and if you read any tech gurus out there, is backup, backup, backup. As I mentioned earlier, you can have a catastrophic hard drive failure and all of your coursework is gone. It can be very devastating for students. I do recommend that you back up your materials relatively frequently. Now, most tech experts recommend three forms of backup. One of those is on-site, something in your house that you're backing up your material. One can be off-site, and one can be up in the cloud. Now, I do think that's kind of overkill, but that is absolutely the safest way possible is having three methods of backup. At a minimum, I would choose at least one of those. Now, backup methods could be as simple as, getting a nice USB flash drive. They're incredibly cheap now, and you can get more than enough storage than you'll ever need for all of your educational endeavors, probably for about $20, and back up frequently to that. I also am a big fan of cloud backup. There's a lot of cloud backup services out there that work automatically in the background. that save everything on your computer to a cloud, basically a cloud drive. And you can access that information then from any device anywhere. That's really kind of cool too. So take a look at that. There are many services out there that offer that cloud backup. Pick the one that works for you if you decide to go that route. And then there's always transferring things over to maybe an external hard drive or to CDs. That's very cumbersome, and you typically have to remember to do that. So pick the method that works best for you, but I do recommend that you have some sort of backup plan in place for your valuable coursework that you're going to be doing. All right, so that's a little bit about backup. Now let's talk a little bit more about software, pure software requirements for the program. Now, there really are no mandatory software that you need. Now, I will say that all of your coursework that you do here at Mercy College, writing a paper, has to be in Microsoft Office format, or in this case, Microsoft Word if you're writing a paper, or if you're doing a spreadsheet, it'll have to be in Excel. If you're doing a PowerPoint, well, if you're doing a presentation, it will have to be in PowerPoint. The key thing to remember there that's going to be Microsoft Office compatible. For those of you that use Macs, the Pages format is not acceptable as a submission. You will have to convert that over to the Microsoft Office equivalent. Why is that? Because here at the college, your instructors only have access to Microsoft Office. So for them to be able to open your assignments, grade your assignments, etc., it has to be in those formats. Now, let's say you don't have Microsoft Office. What can you do? Well, as a student, Microsoft has a wonderful option for you, and it may be something to look into. I personally purchased this. I find it a great way to go, and that is Microsoft Office 365 University Edition. Now, they have to verify that I am a college employee or a college student, which you will be able to do because you will have a college email with a .edu email prefix in there, so you'll be all set on that. So uh, take a look at that if you do need Microsoft Office. The 365 version is pretty neat because it does automatically upgrade in the background. I don't have to worry about anything. And at around $65 for a 4-year subscription for the whole suite of Microsoft Office products, I think it's a pretty good deal. But that's up to you. If you currently have a version of Microsoft Office that's relatively recent, you're going to be just fine. No need to upgrade. You'll be fine throughout the entire program. Now, let's say $65 can be kind of steep for folks, even though it's a 4-year subscription. There are some free alternatives out there. Google has one, Google Docs, which can be saved in that Microsoft Office format, and there are others. So just take a look, do your own due diligence out there. You can find some free alternatives. They generally don't have all the bells and whistles that Microsoft Office will have, but they will generally get you by. They'll generally work for you. The key thing to remember in all of this, though, that your assignments must be in that equivalent Microsoft Office format, whether you're talking Word, Excel, or PowerPoint. Typically, those are the big three that we will use frequently throughout the program. All right, so that's pretty much it on software requirements. That is all you're really going to need throughout your time here at Mercy College. Your digital campus is web-based, so you will not require any special software for that. Okay, so that kind of covers the hardware and software requirements for the program. Hopefully that's not too much for you, and you may already have all of those things already covered with your current laptop. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the checklist. We're going to remove my picture up here, and you should have this checklist. Obviously, that's what you've been working on throughout this video. You are doing step one, which is watching the introduction video. Let me just go ahead and increase the size a little bit this so we can kind of walk through some of these items that'll be on the checklist. Now, your next step will be to establish your college email. Now, you would have received a packet or a part in your packet that looks like this. It's going to have your email information, which is located on the email page, and it's also going to have your information for Empower Me and Canvas, which I will explain in a minute. If for any reason you did not receive this information in your new student packet, along with the checklist that you're walking through now, please let me know and we'll get that out to you right away. All right. So the first thing you'll want to do is establish your college email. That's how we're going to communicate to you. We're going to ask that you do all your official communication between your instructor, your academic advisor, etc., that you do that through your college email. Now, I know that can be kind of inconvenient for folks because you probably have your own personal email, you probably have a work email, and now you're going to have a college email. But I think it is a good idea to keep all three of those separate. If you are pretty tech savvy, you can aggregate all three of those into an email client, but that is totally up to you. But again, we do ask that you use your college email for all official communication with the college. Okay, next thing we're going to have you do is register for your courses. Now, in your packets, you will have received both a full and part-time plan of study. Take a look at those. See which one that you want to do. Those plan of studies were built on the information that was provided through your transcripts, and we tried to get every bit of credit out of there, out of your transcripts, and then built a custom plan for you. In general, what I recommend is that students start part-time, get acclimated to the program, and then you can ramp up at a future date if you do so. Vast majority of our students go part-time and they're busy enough going part-time. But take a look at those. If you do have any questions, you can go over those with your academic advisor, which we will talk about in just a few moments. Next thing you'll want to do is your Canvas orientation. Now, Canvas is the name for your digital campus. That is the learning management system that we use. If you have taken online courses before, you may be very familiar with Canvas. It's quite popular throughout the United States. If you haven't, don't worry. It's very user-friendly. And what we're going to have you do is actually go through a little Canvas orientation. Doesn't take very long to do. 2 hours is actually being pretty generous. Most students will probably finish it in just a little bit over an hour, but it will get you acclimated to your digital campus so you'll know where to click and what it will look like and what it will feel like. So you will want to go through that Canvas orientation. You can find the link to that right there. So you'll want to type that into your browser and go through those videos to learn more about Canvas. After that, after you've completed that, or right about the same time, you will want to go ahead and order your textbooks. There are instructions for ordering your textbooks that are found in your new student packet, so take a look at that. Please be careful. Be careful that you make sure you get the exact edition that your instructor requires. So if they're using the 6th edition and you buy the 5th edition, your pages will be out of sequence and you'll be missing all kinds of material that may not be in there. So make sure you are buying the correct edition. Books have something called an ISBN, which is basically a serial number. If you have that serial number, you pretty much can't go wrong in buying your book. Where can I buy my books? Students often ask. Do I have to buy them from the Mercy College online bookstore? No, you don't. You can buy them from any source that you want or rent them. Many students are renting now. Totally up to you. You're not obligated to use our bookstore. Our bookstore has great service, but tends to be a little bit more on the pricier side. So most students save a few bucks by going to Amazon or other sources and either buying them outright or renting them. But buyer beware, make sure you are using reputable online booksellers. We have had students, and usually every semester, someone tries to buy a book off of eBay and they never get it in time. So buyer beware. Make sure you are using those reputable booksellers that can get you your textbook in the time required because you want to have that book in your hands before the first day of class. So there's a kind of fair warning on that. Okay, so go ahead and get your textbooks. How do I know what textbooks I need? Well, what you will do is you will go to the online bookstore and you will search your class that you have for that semester. And if you're not buying it from our online bookstore, you'll just simply copy the information in there and go find whatever reseller or seller that you decide to use, Amazon or half.com, etc. But make sure you're getting that information directly from our college bookstore. Copy and paste that, and then if you are going to another seller, make sure you're getting that exact edition. All right, that's enough about textbooks. I think we have that pretty clear. Next on the checklist is financial aid and tuition reimbursement. If you haven't done so already, you probably will want to contact the financial aid department. Um, Even if you decide not to be using financial aid, I encourage every student to fill out the FAFSA, and our financial aid department can guide you through that. The FAFSA will search all sources for you for funding. You may be eligible for grants and not even realize it. Grants are basically free money. So I do recommend that you fill out the FAFSA, even if you're thinking about self paying, because you never know. And you're not obligated to take any financial aid. If you get you'll get an award letter. Again, you're not obligated to execute that award letter, but it's there if you should need it. Okay, so that's financial aid. Now, tuition reimbursement. Many of you work for healthcare employers. Please check with your HR immediately about tuition reimbursement. We do have a sizable amount of students who receive tuition reimbursement from their employers. Many employers require some paperwork uh, before you start a program, usually an approval. They do not want to find out after the fact. They could deny you your tuition reimbursement. Let's say if you complete your first round of courses and you say, "Hey, reimburse me. Here's my A's. I've got, 2 A's on these courses and I want reimbursed." They could say, "Sorry, you didn't get this program approved before starting, and you're now ineligible." So please do not impact any kind of eligibility requirements that you may have with your employer by not filling out the correct paperwork that they need. So my advice to you is contact your HR department immediately and find out, one, if you're lucky enough, two, to have tuition reimbursement, and then what the process is in place to ensure that you can get approved for that. Okay, so that covers our financial aid and tuition reimbursement part. The next thing that you'll want to do is schedule your advising appointment. Your academic advisor is a very critical part of your success team here at the college, including myself on there. We're really here to get you across that finish line, to get you to that 120 credit hours, to have you complete all your professional coursework, go across that stage, and get your diploma. So you will want to connect with your academic advisor. And we'll want to have you schedule that appointment and just talk with Mary. Mary Ock will be your advisor throughout the program. Some of you may have some detailed questions. Most don't, because we already have the full and part-time plans of study included in the new student packet, and you're simply just choosing between the two. But if you do have some detailed questions, Mary will be there to kind of talk you through that. So your appointments may last anywhere from 10 minutes or less to 30 minutes or longer, really whatever you need to get your questions answered. But you will want to go ahead and schedule that appointment with Mary. There is a how-to guide in your new student packet on how to use our scheduling system to get that appointment with Mary. Then after you've completed that, we're almost in the final stages here. We will do the last step, which is your college and program orientation. You can see the links located down here. We have two orientations, one for the program itself, where we're going to talk nitty gritty about the HCA program. And then the other one is the college, kind of big picture about Mercy College, some of the support systems that are available to you here. Um, so you get a nice view of all things Mercy College. Now, when you take both of those orientations together, they'll run about 4 hours. Do you have to do that all in one setting? Absolutely not. Break it up. Do it over a period of a week, maybe two. Do 45 minutes, 30 minutes, break it all up. But if you wanted to, you could sit there in a early afternoon and knock it all out. Totally up to you. We do ask, though, that you have that completed. Both the program and college orientation are completed before the first day of class. Again, those will help address even more questions. And we want to make sure that you do know where those support systems are should you need them, and that'll be covered through those orientations. And the links there will guide you to the orientations. So, in general, you have our orientation process is really centered around three separate, modules. The first one is that Canvas. We want to get you used to Canvas right away. So, you have your Canvas orientation. Again, about 2 hours or less. Most students complete it in just over an hour. Then you'll have your program orientation, very specific to the healthcare administration, or HCA, like we like to say for short. Program orientation lasting about 2 hours, and then your college orientation lasting about 2 hours. Whole thing in total for all of those three orientations would last maybe 6 hours. Some students do it all in one setting. Again, I recommend that you break up each one of those as you go through that new student checklist. All right, so that's covered all of the basics in the onboarding process. The big key is you do follow through that new student checklist. It'll guide you through everything that you need to do. If you do have any questions along the way, feel free to reach out to myself if you have a question about what some of those onboarding processes. If you have a question about your classes, you'll want to reach out to your academic advisor, Mary. But of course, that's one of the steps on there that you'll have to do. So you'll be meeting with her. We would like that meeting to occur before the start of classes as well. Again, it will only take maybe 5, 10, no more than 30 minutes to get to know your academic advisor. All right, so that covers all of the basics in the welcome video. Again, my name is Chris Gibbons. I am the director for the Healthcare Administration Program. You have my contact information in the packet, so do not hesitate to reach out to me as you're going through the process, or really at any time throughout the program. I will be teaching some of your courses, so I'll see you in those courses. But again, if anything should come up, any questions, concerns, feel free to reach out to me. All right. Again, I'd like to welcome you to the program and I wish you the best of luck. Thank you.